Yep, my friends. We're live till 5, but before then we've got the inestimable pleasure of the company of our mate, Mr. Van Connor. Our Van Friday when it comes to Freeview film recommendations. 3 from Van, all on Freeview, 3 from me. You don't pay any money, but you make your choice. And Van, how's your week been, mate? I'm really looking forward to next week's Gladiator 2 release, but I saw in the week I finally got round to seeing Smile 2, which I thought was slightly baffling because I couldn't work. Have you seen Smile 2?
No, I've not seen Smile 2. If I'm honest with you, I barely remember Smile 1. Well, I remember thinking it was a sort of a Ring knockoff, I remember thinking.
That's right, no, it's a bit of that, but this one starts with a kind of flash forward, which doesn't make any sense to the rest of the film, as far as I'm aware, unless they missed a reel or something, and they don't do it that way anymore. It's all digital, so when you do finally get to see it, I'm going to have to pick your brains about it. But let's get on to your first Freeview recommendation for the weekend, and this is a film about which I know absolutely nothing.
Yeah, this is a movie. It's on Film 4 tonight at 9 o'clock. It's called Boss Level. It's from director Joe Carnahan, who, kind of burst onto the scene with Knock in about 2002.
A film you love, of course, is it not? Knock.
I love Knock. Are you or are you not a Knock? Knock with Jason Patric and Ray Liotta, and that's sort of broken big. He then sort of came out again with the A-Team adaptation back in about 2009, 2010, and he's sort of been in the sort of mid-tier action stakes ever since. And this is his reteaming with Frank Grillo. It began life as about 2 decades earlier. It's about an assassin who wakes up in a Groundhog Day style time loop, and from the second he wakes up, people are trying to murder him. Like, he wakes up and 10 seconds later, assassins burst through his windows and try to, machine gun him in his bed, and his day just gets worse from there before he can edge of tomorrow his way back into the start of the time loop by getting killed. It's a lot of fun, and the villain is Mel Gibson.
Oh, brilliant.
Right? Michelle Yeoh is it. Future Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh is in there as well.
This
came out.
This is disgrace on my part.
I know, right? Because it was a pandemic film, it was meant to be a theatrical, and because of the pandemic, this went to like Disney Plus / Hulu, depending on which side of the Atlantic you were on. So it's on tonight on Film 4 at 9 o'clock. It is badass. I've got a clip for you from the trailer. This is Frank Grillo, who, bear in mind, is just Frank Grillo. He's kick-ass at the best of times, narrating his life for you.
Here we go.
I used to complain that every day felt the same. And now every day is the same. Seriously. Shoes, pants, rip them, flip them. Okay, coffee, anyone? I don't know how this is possible, but I keep repeating the same day. Sorry, pal! And as many times as I've seen this happen to my apartment, still can't help but think I'm never, ever getting my security deposit back.
I am really looking forward to that now tonight. It's on Film 4 tonight then, The Boss Level.
Boss Level, 9 p.m. on Film 4. It's a good time.
Now, my second recommendation might make a great double bill with that film because it's one of the finest comedies of the 1980s. It helped launch the 1980s and launch the career of Jim Abraham and David and Jerry Zucker. It's on midnight tonight, so technically it's a Saturday picture, but come on, cut me some slack. midnight, ITV1. It's Airplane from 1980, based on a film actually I've seen from about 1957, written by a man called Arthur Haley, who went on to write a novel called Airport, which was turned into one of the originals of these films, that kind of sort of mini disaster movies. 0 Hour is dreadfully straight-faced and po-faced with Dana Andrews. Airplane is quite the reverse. It's stupid and proud of it. It's got some amazing... many of these gags and many of these catchphrases are passed into the language. Yeah, but don't call me Shirley, hold the mayo, all that kind of stuff. It's also got an amazing performance by Peter Graves, who went on to be in the Mission Impossible TV series, who's obviously a very kind of closeted but out there gay pilot who constantly is hitting on a young boy in the cabin saying, have you ever seen a grown man naked? Do you like gladiator movies? It's a very strange film indeed, very funny film indeed. There's a gag every probably 28 seconds and almost all of them are funny, and if you need cheering up this week, and some people might do, this film is a film for you. I mean, this film, they made so many great films, that team, but I love this, and I love a film with Val Kilmer, and I'm trying to remember the name of it, called... it's like
Intelligence or The Spy one. The Spy one.
That's right, The Spy spoof, and that is a brilliant film as well. As a double bill, those two comedies would be great. This really sounds like it would be a perfect follow-up to The Boss Level. So it's midnight, tonight, ITV1. Here's a burst of the trailer. Hold the mayo.
Never has the screen been so big.
You ever been in a cockpit before?
No, sir, I've never been up in a plane before.
Peter Graves.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
My name is Roger Murdoch. I'm an airline pilot.
Leslie Nielsen.
This woman has to be gotten to a hospital.
A hospital? What is it?
It's a big building with patients, but that's not important right now.
Lloyd Bridges.
Johnny, what can you make out of this?
This? Well, I can make a cap, or a brooch, or pterodactyl.
Robert Stack.
All right, Steve, let's face a few facts.
And we hope you enjoy the rest of your flight.
Julie Haggerty.
By the way, is there anyone on board who knows how to fly a plane?
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Robert Hayes.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Now, my favourite line in this film isn't a comedy line. It's when Lloyd Bridges, who's the much harassed airport boss man, who keeps saying things like, I picked a great day to try and quit sniffing glue, suddenly realises the importance of the enormity of the emergency, and he looks straight at the camera and goes, get me Rex Kramer. And you just know that Rex Kramer can solve anything in any film, could he? Rex Kramer. So it's Airplane tonight at 5 past midnight. Your second film could not be more different. Is that right, Van?
No, I've gone for some early 90s cheese. This is like me at 11 years old. I'm not going to lie. I have such a soft spot for this film because I was just a kid at the right age for it. So it was 1994's Van Damme effort. And this is Van Damme's most successful movie.
It's
this
also,
is the movie that broke
only,
out the most.
One of only two good films. This and Hard Target, directed by John Woo.
Yeah.
I think it was best films.
Absolutely, and you can maybe make a sort of bad good case for a Sudden Death from 1996, which is Die Hard in a hockey arena. This one though has Van Damme as Max Walker in a loose adaptation of, I think it was a Dark Horse comic. It's gone on to become a couple of crap attempted TV show adaptations since, but this one sees Max Walker as the time enforcement agent whose wife was tragically murdered in his past, and who in his present day investigations discovers that a high-profile senator played by the late great Ron Silver, wasn't he? Is in fact both attempted to pervert history to fund his run for the White House, and is also responsible for the murder of his wife. It's a completely lumber-headed version of that plot, but it's kind of brilliant Van Damme. It's kind of perfect for him. It's very SNES game in 1994. It should come with a 16-bit video game adaptation, and it in fact did. You must remember this, I'm sure. This is you were an adult when this was out. I was a child.
I remember it really clearly because I did the junket with Van Damme. I did the interview with him, and I was working on a London listening show, except he was going through a challenging time in his life. He refused to remove his sunglasses, which is never great in an interview because you can't. He was indoors. And as I'm about to do the interview, he lifted one leg and broke wind really raucously. And none of us really said anything. And I thought, right, I'm going to ask quite a long question and hold my breath. And I went, so this film Time Cop plays with divergence in time, and we were all worried that maybe the plot would be too difficult for the average audience member to follow. Because it's a great film, Jean-Claude, great film. And he went, pardon? So I had to sharpen it out of breath and on with the next question. So it's forever etched on my memory for that reason, but it is a great, mad, leave your brains at the door sci-fi movie. Some great action sequences. And where can we see this one, Van?
So you can see this Saturday night at 10:50 on the Paramount channel. And
you've got a clip for us, I think.
I have, in fact, got a clip.
Let's hope we've got no raspberries in this one. No, none of that.
There's no trumping in this one. We've had enough trumping for 1 week. This is Van Damme hunting down his former partner, who has gone to the Great Depression to manipulate the stock market.
Here we go.
Give me the envelope.
Thank you. The country's going down the drain because of the special interests. We need someone in the White House who's so rich, doesn't have to listen to anybody.
What's that?
The senator was having a fundraiser.
When I'm in office, it's going to be like the 80s again. Top 10% will get richer. The other 90% can emigrate to Mexico where they can live a better life. So, Agent Walker, you're going or staying?
I think you plan too far ahead. Obviously you don't.
There's no mention of building a wall, though, in that clip. That seems very personal.
No, funny that. Yes. It's very relevant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, my second film is one of my favourite films from the 80s, and it's one of my son's favourite films. He was only, I think, he would have been 8 or 9 when this came out, so I was way too young for me to show it to you, but he absolutely loved it. It's called Warlock from 1989. Not to be confused with the rather good late 50s Western called Warlock. No, this is set in present-day kind of LA Valley area, and it's about a warlock who comes, one of Satan's sons, in fact, Satan's son, who comes forward in time to bring about the apocalypse, and he's played by the late and lamented Julian Sands. He's great in this, Julian Sands. He looks incredibly good-looking guy, striking guy, but also he's got that otherworldly, malevolent look, and he's followed into the future. It's a kind of weird Terminator in reverse element to this. He's followed into the future by Richard E. Grant from With Nail and I. It's one of his best roles as well. He has great fun in this role as a kind of demon hunter, demon executor. It's quite dark. It's quite funny. It's very 80s. Again, in a different way to Time Cop. It's absolute and arrant, entertaining nonsense, but I think all the better for it. You must have seen this one, Van.
Oh, yeah, it's one of those seminal sort of alt-culture 80s texts that, I mean, I know they've sort of become more mainstream in the decades since, but things like The Lost Boys, Brain Scan, Hackers, things like that, those sort of just slightly pitched off of mainstream alt-culture things that you got in cinema, and this was definitely one of them. I mean, Highlander, I suppose Highlander is the thing I would sort of sit it alongside the most, really.
Great film. It's on tonight, 11:35 p.m. If you like the sound of it, do yourself a favour. At least record it or download it or whatever and watch it at your leisure. 11:35, 25 to midnight in the Old Money. Tomorrow, that is on Film 4. And here's a chunk of the trailer, a load of old warlocks.
He is here.
You know the signs.
You are bewitched.
He has the face of an angel.
Channel me a spirit.
The charm of the devil.
Hear me when I say he's evil. Evil absolute.
And the powers of a god. Satan also has one son.
Were you the first to have laid eyes upon the new Messiah?
Now, an enemy from his past.
Who appointed you executioner?
And a girl from the present.
You know what he's capable of.
Next time he's gonna kill me.
I'll not let him harm you.
Are the only hope for the future. This is the terrifying adventure that could set the world on fire. Warlock.
Of course, it had to be Carmine Barrera for the music, certainly for the trailer. So that's my penultimate recommendation. That's tomorrow night, 11:35 p.m, just before midnight on Film 4. And my final recommendation is the Brat Pack Western that was such a part of the culture. It not only gave us, I think, 2 sequels, certainly 1 sequel, I remember. I think there's another sequel, maybe straight to video, and always took of a TV spin-off, and it allowed Warren G and Nate Dogg to sample a line from it from their song Regulators, didn't it? Saddle Up, Regulators. Regulators were kind of unofficial sort of private army hired by battling ranch owners in the Old West. They include amongst their number some genuine Old West characters like William Bonney, brilliantly played as a psychopath. That's Billy the Kid by Emilio Estevez. Charlie Sheen's in this. Emilio Estevez, I mentioned. Kiefer Sutherland, Lou Diamond Phillips. So it's pretty much the Brat Pack on horses, with 6 guns, what's not to love? I mean, there's some great action sequences in this. There's very much a spirit of it being aimed at the teenage Brat Pack poster on the bedroom wall market, but who cares? It's from 1988. It's on Legend, the Legend channel, which is Freeview, 9 o'clock, Sunday night, and this is for me, this is one of my favourite of this and Silverado, I think, were about the only decent westerns made, as far as I can remember, in the 1980s.
I mean, for me, because obviously because of my age, I was of a certain age when Young Guns 2 came out, and the marketing blitz around Young Guns 2 was so big.
Bon Jovi, Blaze of Glory, and all that stuff around it, yeah.
So I barely registered the first one because it sort of came out when I was just a bit too young, but it's one of those where when they both came out on DVD, I went and sought them out. And the first one, I love that, and we tend to forget that it's all about avenging their fallen mentor and taking down, his ultimate villain. And it's played in a very X-Men-like, Professor X and Magneto-like way, with Terrence Stamp as their mentor and Jack Palance.
I mean, Jack Palance is fantastic in this, isn't he, Jack Palance? And this was kind of... just after his Batman masterpiece appearances, so he was hotter than hot around this time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really great, a really well cast movie, but it knows its vibe, and all the cast are exactly in on it. Like, it's really good fun.
And would you like my bizarre Billy the Kid fact? Real life fact?
Always.
Okay,
I always want that. Go on.
Of course, there was Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, the great film directed by Sam Peckinpah, one of his finest, James Coburn, Chris Christopherson. But back in the day, the real-life William Bonney, his sentence of death, effectively, i.e. shoot to kill, and he's finally captured, then he escapes and whatever, but was signed by a man called Lew Wallace, who was governor then of that territory. Arizona, it became part of it. And Lew Wallace went on to write the novel Ben-Hur and became a millionaire on the back of it. It's a strange connection, isn't it? So the man who signed, effectively, Dead or Alive on Billy the Kid, then wrote Ben-Hur, which has been filmed, at least 3 times, to my certain knowledge. So, Young Guns, Sunday night, 9 o'clock, on Legend. Buckle up, saddle up, pull those 6 guns.
Can't go north, because Murphy's got men coming out of Fort Sumner. He can't go south, because he's got Brady coming in. East is no good, because he's got John Kinney coming up now.
Let's dance.
Regulators! Let's settle up!
Those are just boys. They one of them over 21.
We're gonna have a lot of fun now.
All I see are hired thieves. Get off my property.
You were supposed to serve 11 warrants and expose the ring. Instead, you went out on a rampage.
Get ready for hell.
Law don't talk like that.
Objection, Your Honor.
The governor's revoked your deputization powers. You're now wanted by the legitimate law as well as those outside the law. You're being hunted by troops.
Bonnie is believed to be the captain of a deputized gang.
Billy the Kid, huh?
The governor's put a $200 bounty on your head.
Ain't easy having pals.
Good stuff there. 16 in the clip and 1 in the hold. Nate Dogg and Warren G will make bodies turn cold. So what's your final film for us then, man?
Well, mine's on the same time as yours on Sunday night, and I'll be honest with you, you've now sold me so hard on Young Guns, because I love Young Guns that much that I feel bad kind of pitching something as serious in context as The Revenant.
Great film, though,
which is really, it was harsh and brutal. Yours is fun and breezy and, bullet written. Mine is harsh and bleak and cold and morbid and, destined to force upon you the insight into your soul. That kind of a drama, starring Leonardo DiCaprio with the role that finally put him through enough physical torture to earn him an Oscar. Of course, opposite Donald Gleason and Tom Hardy, Alejandro Iñárritu directs this. It is an absolute banger. It's got an all-timer sequence in which he fights a bear. I mean, I think that's great.
It ain't Paddington, is it? It's not Paddington, that's for darn sure.
It's far less cuddly than Paddington, we shall say that. But it's one, if you put this on at 9 p.m. and you will be asleep by midnight and you'll be grateful to be in bed when you do. It's one of those. It's a deeply unsettling film, but a sort of rewarding, spiritually triumphant one at the same time. I thought very good. I thought an excellent movie.
It's a brilliant film, and I think it's based on a true story, isn't it? At least in part.
It is, that then became a full-blown novel that then got adapted for the screen. It won several Oscars, including, I think it won cinematography as well, but also, most importantly, this was that movie, because we were on that streak for about 10 years, where every year Leonardo DiCaprio seemed to be going up for an Oscar, and it was like the guy's entire life hinged upon it. And it just never he kept getting nominated, just never got it. And he somehow got it for The Revenant. I would argue maybe should have got it for Wolf of Wall Street, but still.
I must say, I still love his performance in Catch Me If You Can.
Do you know what? I don't know. How do you pick your favourite DiCaprio performance? Departed. I'm a big Departed fan. I got to be honest.
What's Cecil Gilbert Grape? It's in the mix. It's in the mix.
He got a nomination for that at least, and and he was like 16 at the time.
Okay, so it's The Revenant. It's Sunday. Remind us where we can see it when, and I think you've got a clip for us as well, haven't you, Van?
I have. So this is filmed for 9 o'clock on Sunday night. I've got a clip for you. This is Tom Hardy goading Leonardo DiCaprio to basically explore his supposedly legendary backstory.
Hey, Glass, is it true what they say about you shooting that lieutenant while you was living them sandwiches?
Gerald.
21 dead soldiers, more than 40 dead feathernecks, but you and your boy are the only ones who get to walk out alive. It's kind of a Miracle, don't you think?
Shut up, Fitzgerald.
That what you did? Shot one of your own to save this little dog right here? You know what you want to fight, son? Why, was you playing with this little boy's mama, huh?
Fitzgerald!
Did you kill her? Hey, you can quit polishing that rifle when I'm talking to you.
I'm working on it.
You can work on it later when I'm done talking to you. Look at me, Scout.
That's enough!
You're forgetting your place, boy.
As far as I can tell, my place is right here on the smart end of this rifle.
Going to be called There Will Be Blood, because you know there's going to be, and lots of it. So is Off Screen dropping this morning, your great podcast with all the big movie reviews and movie news?
It isn't. Well, there's a new Paddington movie out, Paul. Of course I have to have it off screen now. Got to be talking about Paddington. I mean, we've just had the grizzly bear in the DiCaprio movie. We're going to have the cuddly bear on off screen as well in the same week. I can't be taking sides in the Great Bear debacle.
So make sure you download Off Screen, a great listen, of course, with Van Connor, and he joins us each and every Friday with his Freeview film recommendations for the weekend. You've heard half a dozen from us. You don't have to pay your money. You can make your choice, and we're live till 5. Cheers, Van.